All right, the effort to get a ceasefire negotiated between Hamas and Israel appears to be stalling. One thing moving forward, though, are discussions between Israelis and Palestinians. But this is not happening in the Middle East. It's happening right here in the U.S. And those talks are between teenagers. Scripps News Global Affairs correspondent Maya Rodriguez joins us now live with this story. And Maya, I understand this is all unfolding at a summer camp.
Yeah, it is, Holly, but it is not a typical one. Many of the world's conflict zones can seem thousands of miles away from the U.S., but not at one summer camp in Maine. For decades now, the Seeds of Peace camp has brought together teenagers from conflict zones, including Israelis and Palestinians. And since the start of the Israel-Gaza war, their work has perhaps never been harder or more crucial. Scripps News got rare access to the camp.
Just copy what I do.
It's the start of a new day at Seeds of Peace summer camp in coastal Maine.
Right leg forward.
There's outdoor sports, indoor activities, and more importantly for these teenagers, food.
How was the dialogue today?
But behind the typical scenes of teens at play,
This was a nuclear weapon situation.
lie very real adult world problems.
All Palestinians suffered during this war.
My father lost in Gaza a really good friend.
Bombings everywhere, hospitals is bombed.
For all of us, there were people we knew that died, that got injured, that are traumatized, that are hostages now.
Israelis Ruth and Shalom and Palestinians Selena and Rania are just a few of the nearly 90 campers here. Part of a legacy that began in 1993 when the nonprofit Seeds of Peace first began bringing Israeli and Palestinian teenagers to the U.S. for a summer camp.
This is what can be.
Eva Armour is the executive director.
This is like any ordinary summer camp that you've ever probably experienced. And what makes it unique is that for 2 hours a day, they have facilitated dialogue sessions. And that's led by professionals.
That can also work.
The dialogue sessions split the campers up into smaller groups and are off limits to everyone except the teenagers and the facilitators.
So we keep saying that what happens in dialogue stays in dialogue. But I think that the piece of that is really difficult in dialogue is basically challenging a lot of things that you don't challenge back home. And all of a sudden here they have the freedom to express themselves.
17-year-old Selena is a Palestinian from the West Bank.
It got heated sometimes, but one thing that is done with our dialogue groups is the first day when we begin, we lay out some dialogue norms, some rules that we would like to go by. So even if it does get heated, people do stay respectful.
It's not easy for 15-year-old Shalom from Jerusalem.
Dialogue is very difficult for me, especially because I think society really wants you to learn you have an enemy, and it's really hard to come over and just talk, so we have to share through personal experience, which could be really triggering or really difficult sometimes, but that's, in my opinion, the way to people's hearts and souls.
But there is a before and after here, with the October 7th, 2023 Hamas attack on Israel, a demarcation line of sorts.
It's just practice, I swear.
16-year-old Ruth from Israel first came to Seeds of Peace before the war, and since returning, sees the changes.
To compare what happened before and after is like heaven and earth. Dialogue was very different, but I felt the reason that it was really important for me to come back is because after October 7th, it didn't make me stop believing in peace.
I think my country should be here.
For some of the campers, just getting here was a challenge.
People around the world were living there normally, and I was hungry. I don't have food to eat. I was scared.
17-year-old Rania is from Gaza. She and her family managed to flee the war during a very brief time when the Rafah border crossing with Egypt was open in late 2023.
My home is there. It's destroyed and burned, but all of my stuff is inside.
What's it like to be here at this camp, you know, knowing that there are people on the other side of the border, if you will, who feel very differently about all this?
I'm here to learn from other people's perspective, to share what I think, and I don't need someone to be convinced. I just need respect, and I respect what other people think.
What languages do you guys speak?
This isn't about kids in canoes just or, on soccer fields. There is a deep, powerful presencing that happens through those experiences where people have those chances to connect.
But given that October 7th did happen, do you think Seeds of Peace has been successful in its mission?
Listen, there are going to be all kinds of dynamics within and between countries that we have no control over. I think that being here, we say often that camp is a place to imagine and to practice a different way of being. It is as though you are witnessing a future in many ways that has not yet been born.
One they hope to keep nurturing halfway around the world from a tiny corner in New England.
There are no cell phones at the camp and no televisions either. The idea is to keep outside influences like social media or the news away from the campers while they are there. Once the camp wraps up this month, the campers will head home. Counselors say it can take the campers up to a year to process what they experienced there and merge it with everything happening back home. Holly?
I just love this story. Okay, so since this camp started back in the 90s, I understand they've started including teenagers from other parts of the world. What's the thinking behind that?
Yeah, while we were filming there were also teenagers at the camp from India and Pakistan, which are two nuclear powers that really have had a fraught history. Both of those countries were exchanging gunfire as recently as this past April over the disputed Kashmir region. So there are other parts of the world where teenagers are growing up in conflict zones beyond just the Middle East. And Seeds of Peace says they are working to reach them as well. Holly?
All right, Scripps News global affairs correspondent Maya Rodriguez. I love the story. I wish we could do this in all sectors of our lives in the world, adults and kids alike. Thank you for this really important story. Terrific.
Thanks, Holly.